All right. So in my group manager of product onboarding issue, I've asked you 4 questions around
Mhm.
how you're making decisions in pipeline authoring. So the first one is, how are you making decisions for your product? So your vision, what kind of sensing mechanisms are you thinking about? Just walk me through your process for making decisions.
Yeah, I think I think we're starting first with our roadmap and our vision. Like when I'm making a decision on what to put in the product, and if we should like implement this, my first question is, does it contribute to our vision? Does it contribute to our 3 years roadmap? And so this is number one. Number two, we're keep thinking about our goal, and our goal is to make sure new users and skilled users are the authoring, basically making the authoring experience as easy as possible for both type of users. So it's always like a balance between, okay, we need to have some issues that are really like complicated, and like you need to have like a lot of knowledge in order to unlock this solution, but still it's very popular. And by the way, this is one of the ways that we are prioritizing our work. It depends on how popular this issue. And normally the popular issues are issues that are more complicated and hard to understand, because GitLab CI is in such unique place where it's lovable, and like people that are really technical know how to work with that. So when they're asking for technical things, mostly we are getting a lot of upvote. And this is like this is very typical in our issues. So product vision is one. The goal is two. The team goal is two, and three, the popularity of the issues. And of course, every now and then, we are considering how to solve and fix some of the bugs. Again, depends on the priorities and depends on the upvote that we have for this and the impact that there is. Also, in terms of like, is it something that can unlock and can help us get more adoption? So this is definitely like, if this bug is like holding on for some opportunity or some prospect to actually start working and be successful while working with GitLab. So this is definitely something that we put into consideration.
That dovetails. That's awesome. That dovetails really nicely into the second question on what do you rely on most to prioritize work. I heard popularity, so your upvotes on issues are important to you. And then the second thing I heard was features or bugs that unlock adoption for prospects and opportunities. What other things come into play whenever you're prioritizing or stack ranking? Let's say you have 2 issues that are upvoted, 500 upvotes. How do you break that tie?
So it's a good question. That's really a good question. Usually, we need to put into factor a few more things. First of all, the complexity. How hard will it take to implement that? Because if both of them are in the same upvote, but one is more easy than the other, then obviously we'll take for the easy one because it's an easy win that we can do and we can safely release it to our users. Second thing is, we need to go to, like, upvote is not the only thing, okay? Because like when there is an issue that is like 4 years old, most likely this issue will get a lot of upvote. So it's not the only thing. So I need to take into consideration like the research that we are doing, if there is like some research that supports one of those 2 issues. Again, thinking about our roadmap, will it like drive our roadmap forward? So it gets like bonus point for me. And a lot of the time, like those issues are issues that I can read through and understand like what we actually want. And from there, it helped me like prioritize and maybe better, maybe find a solution, understand maybe what's the problem, and then try to map. Is it like a one thing, although there is like 500 bots, but is it like a really tiny thing, like a corner case that we are unlocking, or is it like something that is like, this is like a mainstream issue that we really need to solve? So upvote is not the only one, the only driver.
That's really great to hear, because popular issues don't always mean that we should be doing it too. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. You mentioned that unlocking adoption for opportunities and prospects was important. Can you elaborate a little bit more about how you incorporate prospect voice into the roadmap?
I mean, when I'm when I'm meeting our customer success team, we have like a monthly meeting, and this is where we are getting in touch with our customer success team, and we understand what's their pain, and this is where we can discuss more openly and freely what are the issues that really impact our prospects or our opportunity to get fulfilled. And so, like, obviously, as always, this I always ask for an issue. Is there an issue? Like, if you give me like a verbal feedback, that's nice, but it needs to be written. It needs to be written somewhere. And so either I will write it, or ask the SA to write it and add like a link to the opportunity. And yes, we take this into consideration. And also I'm starting to do this calculation. Okay, is it like, will it contribute to our roadmap? Is it aligned with our goal? Is it aligned with the company goal? Do we have like the supported research around it? And if like the stars align, then it makes sense also to add it. So a prospect is just like another factor that I'm putting into my list of calculation to prioritize any issue that I want to.
I love to hear that you're engaged with the field team. I want to find other ways that we can get more prospect voice inside of our product priority, because I feel like that should be driving in part some of our investment. So we should have like 20% of any given milestone work dedicated to unlocking prospect or pipeline. And then the rest of your backlog can be sliced doing other ways. So we need to, think more holistically about how we're doing research to unlock that pipeline potential. So love hearing that you're already doing that. 2 more questions. One is, what do you consider your total available market? How are you viewing that?
That's one that I don't have answer for, unfortunately. Didn't have time to do the analysis. Sorry.
Well, I'm even thinking we can talk about this more softly. Is it a particular persona that you think about in your head when you look at your roadmap? Because how are you creating a vision and market, or how are you creating a vision without understanding your market that you're trying to capture?
Yeah. Well, in terms of the persona, we know who's the persona that we are after. I mean, like, generally speaking, it's the DevOps. But if we'll dive more deeply, I kind of see, I think, like 4 types of personas that we are looking for. One of them is the new user. I'm a new to CI. I don't know CI. I know that I need it. Where do I start? Where do I begin? So this is the first one. The second one are the skill users that already had a chance to get their hands dirty with Jenkins, Travis, Circle, GitHub Actions, and maybe they are in a new organization that is using GitLab. Maybe they want to plan GitLab. Maybe they are considering like a new tool. So this for me, it's like the second persona. And see how we can help them, maybe with a better migration guide, maybe with the better tools on how to say, hey, you're new. If you know Jenkins or GitHub Actions, then this is how you can easily migrate or convert. The third one is our traditional, but our skill and our technical teams that are using GitLab and know GitLab and love GitLab, and those are mostly the people that are opening issues, and we get like a ton of upvotes. This is usually those people. And the fourth, and I mentioned to you earlier in our conversation, it's like the less technical persona, but still they're DevOps, but they're not using CI. And we need to find some ways on helping them to mitigate this gap. Yes, they know what they are doing, but they don't have time now to read to our docs. So this is where I think like features that help the skill or the train teams within the organization to share their knowledge, to share their work, and have the ability to reuse like templates, jobs, stages, is something that will help them.
Okay. I think the only homework that I have for you out of this particular one is to review our roles and personas handbook page, and to think a little bit more critically about how each of these 4 roles fit into our defined personas. Because what I'm hearing is that these are actually, the last 2 are collections of personas, which could be a mix of like software engineers and DevOps engineers, but also maybe team managers or platform application engineers. So like, how do we think about those mixes of teams and personas in the definition of pipeline authoring? And also, when we think about unlocking an upsell view for pipeline authoring, how do we prioritize individual features against enterprise features? Because your future of pipeline authoring is not only a great experience for the individual writing their YAML file, but the enterprise adopting really effective DevOps practices. And when we are looking at making Verify a best in class for enterprise companies, not just SMBs or individual developers, we need to critically think about what are the needs and pain points of those directors and managers and executives of DevOps teams. And what I'm hearing is that we're very focused on the individual user experience right now, which is totally right. That's what our backlog is geared toward. Mm-hmm. But we may want to start shifting gears and thinking about what is the director experience in pipeline authoring, and how do we build a roadmap to complement that, not just the new and skilled CI individuals.
Interesting. Do you have like best practices, or maybe not best practices, like how can we unlock that? Like how can we start the discovery track around those people? Like maybe they don't know that they need CI. Maybe they.
I love that question. I think what you could ask is, why aren't directors using CI? Or for companies that are using CI, what do the directors care about? And then that's your question. That's your opportunity canvas. And then you interview 5 directors at our top companies and understand, like, when they think about pipeline authoring, what do they think about? What are the tasks that they're trying to complete with pipeline authoring in GitLab? And I think that that's where you can start to then transition your perspective inside of GitLab, not just for the tactical actions of a developer or DevOps engineer, but like a level up. Are they looking for control of pipeline templates or authoring actions? Are they looking for integration into the ecosystem? And if that's the case, then you'll be able to really nicely tie that director at an enterprise company to a particular marketplace feature, which speaks to our very first topic around how do we create an ecosystem around pipeline authoring. So tactically, start an opportunity canvas around why are directors not using pipeline authoring, or are directors using pipeline authoring, and then start thinking about the kind of customers and profiles that you want to start looking at from a task perspective.
Interesting. Thanks.
I know that we're super over time.